Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let us chant one round of japa with Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for all session. Let's recite Bhagavad Gita Sloka. We are reciting from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 12, text 11. If anyone needs to go first, please raise your hand. Aditi Lata Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances of glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. 1 second. Yes, Mataji.
अथैतदपि असक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु यतत्मवान्. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Arunita?
She will read a little later.
Later. Okay. Achyut Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranams. Jai Shri Prabhupada, Jai Guru Maharaj, all
Dandavad
glories
Pranam
to your
Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Go ahead, Mataji.
अतैतादपि असक्तोऽसि कर्तुम् मद्योगमास्मितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु यतात्मवान्. Translation of Bhagavad Gita, Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Inba Inya. Jai Shri Mataji. Jai Ganesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
अतैतदप्य सक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्. Translation: If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of the work and try to be self-situated.
Inya.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुमद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु यतात्मवान्. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated.
Hare Krishna
Mataji.
Mataji. Dandavad Pranam to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavad Pranam Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
अतैतदप्य सक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु यतात्मवान्. Translation: If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated.
Thank you.
She will go last, Mataji.
Okay. Isha.
अथैतदपि शक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work, and try to be self-situated.
अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु यतात्मवान्. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated.
Yes. Madhava.
अथैतदपि शक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु यतात्मवान्. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated.
Yeah. Rasapriya.
अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु यतात्मवान्. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work, and try to be self-situated.
Yeah. Arunita.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
अथातदपि असक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु यतात्मवान्. Translation: If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, try to act, giving up all results of your work, and try to be self-situated.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Lokesh.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
अतएतद् अपि अष्टोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगम् आश्रितः
Ashritah.
सर्वं कर्म फलत्यागं तथा कुरु यथा भवान्. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to give up all results of your work and try to be self-situated.
Yes.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat pranam. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Jai Guru Maharaj.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
अतैतदपि असक्तोषि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु यथात्मवान्. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mataji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Yes. Jai Shri Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Ataitat shaktosi kartum madyogamashritah sarvakarma falatyagam tata kuru yatatmavan. Translation: If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Usha Mataji and Medha.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Ataitad api asaktosi kartum matyogamashritah sarvakarma falatyagam tata kuru yatatmavan. Translation: If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
May they not hear.
Not there. Okay. Priyanka Haripriya Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
सर्वकर्म फलत्यागं ततः कुरु यदात्मवान्. If, however, you work consciousness with me, then try to act the results of your work and try to be substituted.
Yeah. Saujanya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Ataitad api ashaktoshi kartum madyogamashrita sarvakarma falatyagam tatah kuru yatatmavan. If, however, you are unable to work in this conscious of me, then try to act, giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. Hare Krishna Mataji. I'm
Hare
giving
Krishna.
you a prajna.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
अतएतदपि अशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगम् आश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं तथा कुरु यथात्मवान्. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciously, then try to act, giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated.
Okay. Sonia Mataji is here. Yes, Mataji. Connecting. Okay. Sonia Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Mataji, can you read so I can repeat?
Yes. Athaitad apyashaktosi.
Etad api asaktosi.
Yeah. Athaitad apyashaktosi.
Athetad api asaktosi.
Okay. Kartum madyogamashritah
Kartum madyogamashritah
sarvakarma phalatyagam
सर्वकर्म फलत्यागं
tatah kuru yatatmavan.
ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्. Translation: If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all result of your work and try to be self-situated. Hare
Thank
Krishna
you,
Maharaj.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
All glories to
Please
Srila
accept my
Prabhupada.
humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Why are you two not attending the class? Okay. Eh, Did anyone not recite yet? Okay. I'll recite Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, text 11. अथैतद् अप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then just try to act, giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. Okay, let's read Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 19. King Yayati achieves liberation. So, King Yayati, being disgusted with the sense gratificatory lifestyle, is lamenting because he's not getting satisfaction. Although he spent many years with nice, strong senses, young body, and he's the emperor of the whole earth with its 7 islands, and he has a beautiful wife, and he enjoyed his senses. But in spite of all this, he was not feeling satiated, he was not feeling satisfied. So at that point, he's speaking to his wife how any householder who has renounced his family, if he hears the story of this he-goat, he will lament uh, about his own household life. So what is the story of this he-goat and she-goat? That once there was a he-goat, he was wandering in the forest, looking for fresh grasses and sense gratification, and he comes upon a she-goat that's fallen in the well, and um, he, with his horns, he digs the earth to make the wall lower so that the she-goat can come out. When the she-goat comes out, she sees that this goat is very handsome. He has nice beard and nice mustache, and he's very expert in sex. So she asks him, "Can you marry me? Can you be my husband?" Like that. So the he-goat, he sees that this she-goat is attracted to him. Not only this she-goat, but there are other she-goats who also thought the same way about him. So being ghostly haunted, what is that ghost? Lusty desires. Huh? He began to enjoy life with this she-goat, who became his wife, and not only with this she-goat, but the other she-goats as well. But this she-goat, whom he had rescued from the well, when she found out that he is also engaging, he's having, affairs with other she-goats, this goat became very angry. And then she felt that he's not actually my friend, he's not my well-wisher, he was just, enjoying with me for some time, but he's not really my friend. Thinking like this, she decided to leave him and go away. And but when the he-goat realized that his wife, the she-goat, is going to leave him, he went on the road, on the path, trying to appease this she-goat, but she wouldn't listen, and she just went to her former master. Who is the former master?
a Brahmana. And there she went and complained how this he-goat was, having affairs with other goats. So when the he-goat came following this Brahmana, by his mystic powers, he cut off the testicles of this he-goat so that he won't be able to enjoy sex life anymore. But then later on, he joined those testicles again to the body of the he-goat, like this. So this whole story is actually the story of King Yayati only. So we already read King Yayati's story. So, and the lady that he rescued from the well is Devyani, the daughter of Shukracharya. So when Devyani and the other she-goat in the analogy that this he-goat was having sex with, that is Sharmishta, the daughter of Rishaparva. So when Devyani went to Shukracharya, Shukracharya cursed King Yayati to become an old man, but later on realizing that his own daughter Devyani would be in difficulty because she will have an old invalid husband. How she will enjoy her life? Thinking like this, he said, "Okay, you'll get your youth back, provided someone who's young is willing to exchange his youth with you for your old age. I will make all the arrangements. By my yogic powers, I'll be able to make the exchange." And of course, Yayati's youngest son Puru agreed to do that. And Yayati once again became a young man and he enjoyed for many years. But in spite of all that enjoyment, he could not experience any satisfaction. So, the lesson that we learned in yesterday's reading was that a person who is, so text 12, King Yayati said, "Oh, my dear wife with beautiful eyebrows, I'm exactly like that he-goat, for I'm so poor in intelligence that I am captivated by your beauty and have forgotten the real task of self-realization. A person who is lusty cannot satisfy his mind even if he has enough of everything in this world, including rice, barley, and other food grains, gold, animals, and women. Nothing can satisfy him." So, lust is the all devouring sinful enemy of the soul, lust. So, anyone who's lusty, he will never be satisfied. No matter what he has, even if he had all the three worlds, he won't be satisfied. We have innumerable examples. In fact, it's the story of every demon. Because of lust, he won't be satisfied. You take Hiranyakashipu, he was not satisfied. He had the three worlds in under his command. Even the demigods, big demigods, are working like his slaves, but still his small 5-year-old boy who remembered the Supreme Lord, that was intolerable to Hiranyakashipu. Kamsa, right? He couldn't sleep thinking about Krishna, although he had everything else, but he couldn't sleep. Ravana, right? Out of lust, he wanted Sita Devi. But, all these demons, they didn't have any peace of mind. They were not happy, they were not satisfied because there is lust in the heart. So, anyone who has lust in him, he cannot be satisfied in his mind. No matter what he has, he will never be happy. He will never be satisfied. Okay. Then what is the solution? What did Srila Prabhupada say in the purport? How do you deal? Krishna consciousness, yes. What is the only way to overcome this lust? It cannot be overcome by any means, save and except Krishna consciousness.
Chanting.
Only when Krishna consciousness means Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam, and more 64 limbs. Bhakti, Krishna consciousness. And of course, for us, the method recommended for this age is especially chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So that's the only way to overcome this lust. Text 14. Who is supposed to read today? You read last. So Sonia Mataji will read.
Mataji.
Your turn.
I read.
Najatu. You also read
Mhm.
yesterday.
Yes, yes,
So
Mataji.
Lokesh will read. Lokesh. न जातु कामः कामानाम् उपभोगेन शाम्यति हविषा कृष्णवर्त्मेव भूय एवाभिवर्धते.
As supplying butter to a fire does not diminish the fire but instead increases it more and more, the endeavor to stop lusty desires by continual enjoyment can never be successful. In fact, one must voluntarily cease from material desires.
Yeah, I think we read that also. Voluntarily, you have to stop. Yes, we read this. Pancha Shordvam Vanam Rajit. Okay, that means in the previous verse purport, Srila Prabhupada explained this. So we discussed this at length. Yes. So after 50 by force, you must give up. Remember, Srila Prabhupada says in the purport that anyone who is attracted to his wife, he must he will be it's almost impossible for him, right, to give up sex life. Then unless also Srila Prabhupada, unless one is an extremely advanced devotee, it's not possible for him to stay in household life and at the same time not be attracted to sex life, to become free from such desire. It's not possible. So therefore, the scriptural injunction is 50. As soon as you cross 50, you must leave home. You must leave home. Is it easy to leave home? No, it's not. Because we have attachments to family members. It's not easy. But voluntarily you should give. Because if you give up, because if you don't, at the time of death, are we prepared to leave? But aren't we forced to leave anyway? So similarly, this is voluntarily one must leave home. That is according to the Vedic instructions, injunctions. So this verse is saying, as supplying butter to a fire does not diminish the fire, but instead increases it more and more. So you feel lusty and you give the objects of lust. So you feel lusty means your senses are craving for some sense gratification. You bring sense objects to the senses to satisfy, thinking that after the senses get the sense objects, now the senses will become pacified, will become peaceful. Just like someone who is hungry, right? He's hungry and he's in great distress, and you give him some food, then he becomes satisfied, right? No more mischief because he's completely pacified. Is that how lust works? No. Lust, what Mataji, Achut Priya Mataji, you are saying greedy, lusty.
Yes, is greedy also lust, Mataji?
Yes, because they're related. The previous verse says, anyone who is lusty, he will not be satisfied. How much ever he has, he won't be satisfied. That is greed, isn't it? Greed
Yes,
means you
yes.
have so much, still you want more and more and more. That means you're not
Mhm.
satisfied. So they're related. If one is lusty, he will be greedy.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, but can you satisfy lust by giving it what it's asking for? No. Lust will never be satisfied. Rather, the more you feed it, the bigger it gets. It demands more and more and more. There's no limit to how much it will demand. So it's a myth to think that after enjoying some sense gratification, then the senses will be pacified. No, they won't be pacified. They'll come back even stronger, asking for more. This is the science. I remember that example of the lion, right? When they capture the lion, they put the lion in a cage, and for 1 week they don't give any food. Because if you give the lion some food, is the lion going to become grateful? Oh, they're feeding me now, so I should not kill them? No. The more you feed, the stronger it gets, and it'll try to get back at you. And like, so the best thing is to starve the lion, starve it. Then after starving and starving, then it becomes submissive. Like that. Lust should be starved. Don't just keep feeding it thinking that it will become satisfied. Of course, that is actually starving the lust. That is the path taken by the Gyanis, right? Ours is a better, it's even better. You give Vishaya Vinivartante Niraharasya Dehinaha Rasavarjam Rasopyasya Param Drishtva Nivartate. In our case means in the devotee's case, you get higher things, then you don't crave for lower things. For example, you are not allowed to go and eat outside in restaurants, which you may have been practiced to doing before coming to Krishna consciousness. But now you should not eat outside. You should not eat. So does that mean you're deprived of all nice food? No, you get very nice Krishna prasadam. You see, you may have been habituated going to parties and dancing there. Now you don't go, you should not go. But are you deprived of that all that entertainment? No. You come and dance in front of Krishna, you sing, there's music, there's nice, delicious prasadam food, and then there is, dancing. It really fills up your heart nicely. It's not like starving yourself. In fact, this is more relishable than the dry sense gratification that people get outside. After tasting this, try going back and see. You'll be disgusted. You'll be thinking, oh, where did I come? If you are still thinking that, oh no, I missed out on all that fun everyone else is enjoying, try going there and see if you will enjoy those things now. You cannot, because you've tasted a better thing now, right? Somebody who's habituated to eating something very sweet and delicacies, and you give some dry oil cake to that person, cannot eat like that. Now you are habituated to tasting nice transcendental sense enjoyment. So the material sense enjoyment will seem very dry. Yamunacharya says, ever since I started relishing various mellows in Krishna consciousness, in a relationship with Krishna, now when I think of sex life, my lips curl, right, up in disgust, and I spit at the thought. Like that. That means it feels abominable. You can't even imagine doing that now. You even wonder how you did it in the past. Like that. So, yeah. But don't feed when the mind demands. If the mind, not if the mind will demand, because we are not yet purified. Anartha nivritti has not yet happened. After anartha nivritti, then clear, everything is cleared. But until then, because you still have some samskaras from the past, although you are practicing devotional service, we are doing some bhajan, right? It's not yet Shuddha Bhakti, but still we are doing something, some bhajan we are practicing. Ashuddha, right? It's called Ashuddha Sadhana Bhakti. Shuddha Sadhana Bhakti means pure Sadhana Bhakti means Anyabhilashita Shunyam, Dhyana Karma Dhyanavritam, Anukulyana Krishnanushilanam. But if you're not doing it with all those conditions satisfied, but still you're doing some bhakti, it's Ashuddha Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Nevertheless, we are still following. But in this stage also, until we enter into Shuddha Bhakti, and even in Shuddha Bhakti, after we cross Anartha Nivritti, that's when these things won't haunt us, these desires and things like that. But until then, they'll be there. And so, what to do? When you have, because of samskaras, these things come up. So you should not act on them. That's the lesson. You shouldn't act on them. Even if those desires come, don't act on them. Because if you think, okay, let me satisfy, then you're gone. One thing leads to the next. You'll fall down from your position in devotional service. So don't feed the lust. That is this verse's message. As supplying butter to a fire, so you see fire sacrifices, yagyas, right? They put swaha, swaha, right? And they put a ghee in the middle, from time to time they put ghee. What happens whenever the priest puts ghee? The fire gets bigger, and then he puts grains to feed in the fire. And when the fire is kind of becoming low, he'll put some ghee, and again it gets bigger. So the more ghee or butter you add in fire, instead of reducing, it increases more and more. So the endeavor to stop lusty desires by continual enjoyment can never be successful, right? So by enjoying sense gratification, you will not be able to stop lusty desires. One must voluntarily cease from material desires. That's the only way. Purport. Okay. So Lokesh read, Mataji read. Lokesh.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Supplying.
Purport.
One may have enough money to and enough resources to satisfy the senses, but still cannot be satisfied. For the endeavor to stop lusty desires by enjoying can never be successful. For example, the example given here is very appropriate. One cannot stop a blazing fire by trying to extinguish it with butter.
Thank you. So what if that fire is not just small fire, it is blazing fire? Can you put it out by putting butter in it? No way. Like that. Temporarily, you get that feeling that you get some sense gratification and you think, okay, now I'm satisfied. But actually, it is just like, Srila Prabhupada says it's like an itch, right? If you've ever had at some point some itch, right? What do? There is an unbearable desire to scratch when there is itch. And when you're scratching it, it gives you pleasure. Sometimes there is some medical reaction, right? Some medicines you take, and as a reaction to that medicine, your whole body starts itching. What is the solution that the doctor gives for that? The doctor says, don't scratch. Even if it itches, just tolerate it. Don't scratch it. When you scratch, while you're scratching, it feels like, now I'm getting pleasure. But what you're doing is you're just, by scratching your skin, you're just, the skin is getting, what is the word, right? You're hurting yourself basically. Now it feels like it's pleasing as long as you're scratching. The moment you stop scratching, it burns like anything, because you have literally ripped off the skin by scratching and scratching. This is the nature of sense gratification. When you get that urge for sense gratification, it is like an itch. Where there is a, you know, a, a great craving to scratch it. That means you want that sense gratification. You want that lust to be satisfied. That itch is there. So the natural or the immediate response to that is feed it, right? Just take. You want sense gratification, get it somehow. When there is an itch, just scratch. And then the consequence is not good. It just burns. And it burns, and is it over? No. Again it will start itching. The more you scratch, the worse it gets. That itching is never going to stop. It will never go away. It's going to burn your skin, and again when it itches, in that burning skin you start again scratching, because scratching gives some pleasure. It feels like it's giving some pleasure, but you're only hurting yourself more and more and more the more you scratch. Rather, if you simply tolerate it, it is difficult, but it is not as difficult as after you scratch how much it hurts. So you just tolerate that itch, tolerate it. And when you tolerate, what happens? That itch gradually goes away. It goes away because you're not feeding it anymore. It just goes away. So sense gratification is like that. You get a very strong urge for sense gratification, tolerate it. Don't act on it. If you act on it, it will come back 10 times stronger. You won't be able to stand in front of it. You'll have to submit. You'll have to surrender. But if you just tolerate it, then that urge becomes weaker and eventually it will go away. So that's the lesson. Lust should be tolerated, it should not be acted upon. Text 15. Yada na kurute bhavam sarvabhuteshvamangalam samadrishtes pumsaha sarva sukhamaya dishaha. So who read? Lokesh read and Mataji. So Usha Mataji and Medha, you're there? Medha is not there. Usha Mataji? You're also not able to read?
I'm here, Mataji.
You're here. Okay. Translation.
When a man is non-envious and does not desire ill fortune for anyone, he is equipoised. For such a person, all directions appear happy.
So, what is the connection? The previous verse said that, or the two verses before this, we read, anyone who's lusty, he's never going to be satisfied. No matter what he gets, he's not going to be satisfied. And this lust is like fire. So the more you put fuel into this lust, that means you fulfill the desires, it only gets bigger. So therefore you should not feed lust. Now this verse is saying, when a man is non-envious and does not desire ill fortune for anyone, he is equipoised. For such a person, all directions appear happy. So why we are talking about envy here? We were talking about lust and now we came to envy. When a man is non-envious and does not desire ill fortune for anyone. Yeah. When do you desire ill fortune for others? When do you desire ill fortune for others? When you're envious. Yeah. When you're envious. Why they have that? They shouldn't have it. Never mind, even if I don't have it, it's okay, but they shouldn't have it. This is envy. Envy. So when you're envious of someone else, then you desire that you desire ill fortune for that person. So if there is a man who is not envious, he does not desire ill fortune for anyone, even for his, those who consider him to be their enemy. This person who is non-envious, he will not desire ill fortune even for his enemies. So if somebody is like this, non-envious, not desiring ill fortune for anyone, then he is said to be equipoised, right? For such a person, all directions appear happy. Yes. That means he can be happy under any circumstances if he is not envious. Purport. Medha is not there, right, Mataji?
No, Mataji, she's already left.
So Priyanka Haripriya Mataji. Purport. Nilambari Mataji is here? I didn't see. She's not there. Okay. So yeah, Priyanka Haripriya Mataji.
Prabodhanand Saraswati said, Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. When one becomes Krishna conscious by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, for him the entire world appears happy and he has nothing for which to hanker. On the Brahma Bhuta stage or the platform of spiritual realization, there is no lamentation, no material hankering, na sochati, na kankshati. As long as one lives in the material world, actions and reactions will continue. But when one is unaffected by such material actions and reactions, he is to be considered free from the danger of being victimized by material desires. The symptoms of those who are satiated with lusty desires are described in this verse. As explained by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, when one is not envious even of his enemy, does not expect honor from anyone, but instead desires all well-being even for his enemy, is understood to be a Paramahansa, one who has fully subdued the lusty desires for sense gratification.
Jai. So you see the connection between envy and lusty desires here. So it's a great science, right? We may think, oh, I'm not an envious person and I still maintain some lusty desires. No, it's not going to work like that. What is Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur saying? When one is not envious, and not envious means not envious to anyone. He is not even envious of his enemy, and he wishes good fortune even for the enemy. It is said that if somebody hates you or somebody has done great harm to you, if you can sincerely pray to Krishna for that person, like like you would pray for someone that you are very grateful to, right? Or somebody that you love, you pray for your spiritual master, for example, or you pray for some devotees that are very dear to you. Like that, if you can pray for a person who hates you, huh? Like Haridas Thakur, exactly. Thank you, Rasapriya. When Haridas Thakur was being beaten by those, uh, you know, the men of Nawab Hussain Shah, they were beating him up, and Haridas Thakur is praying for them to the Supreme Lord. If one is able to pray like this, he will make great advancement in Krishna consciousness. We will make great advancement in Krishna consciousness. People whom you think you hate, you don't like, the best way, the best medicine for that disease is very sincerely, ardently pray for that person. Pray to Krishna for that person. And the science is actually, if that person actually receives the blessings of Krishna, the person will not remain an envious person anymore. Isn't it? In fact, it is those people who need the mercy the most, like Jagai and Madai, right? They say that our claim is first. Because we are the most wretched, more fallen, most actually Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami say this, not Jagai and Madai. Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, when they meet Mahaprabhu in Ramkeli, they say, Jagai Madai, you have delivered, but actually our claim is first, even more than Jagai Madai. Why? Because even though they did all these sinful activities, whatever sins, but they were not working for low class people. We are actually working, right, for mlechas who are envious of devotees, and we are working for them. So that means someone who is very, very low, he deserves the mercy of the Lord the most. Because once he receives the mercy of the Lord, he will not remain a lowly person anymore, isn't it? It's good for everyone. But it's not easy to pray like that, isn't? Is it? Is it easy to pray to Krishna for the well-being of your enemy? If you have a simple, pure heart, it's not difficult. But if we are, complicated people, then it's not easy to pray to Krishna for the well-being of those who hate us or those whom we hate. But the medicine is, that is the medicine, to actually pray to Krishna. Please have mercy on these people. Krishna, please cast. Yes, sincerely. Krishna is not our servant that will order, do this. He's the Supreme Lord. But begging, right? Falling on his feet and begging, I'm desperate, I need this help, like that. And begging for what? For that person who wants to kill you. For that person who wants to destroy you. You're begging at the feet of Krishna for that person. If somebody is able to do like this, then he's a Paramahamsa. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying in this verse. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, as explained by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, when one is not envious even of his enemy, does not expect honor from anyone, but instead desires all well-being even for his enemy. He desires all well-being. Let him become a great devotee. Let him go ahead of me. Let him do better than me. What to speak of enemies? We cannot tolerate even our friends or family members doing better than us. As long as they are not as good as us, we will help them. But once we see that they are going ahead of us, then we cannot tolerate. That is the conditioned state. And these people are our friends and family members. What to speak of if it is your enemy? Will you be happy if that person is going ahead of you in bhakti? That person is getting all the mercy of Guru, all the mercy of all the Vaishnavas and of Krishna. That person is getting all these benedictions. Now the person is able to perform so well, right? Sing so nicely, or what else? So many devotionals, cook so nicely, make very nice garlands, or dress the deities very nicely, so on and so forth. Speak very nicely. And if the person is going ahead of you, are you able to rejoice and feel happy? If you are not feeling happy, that means you're not yet a Paramhamsa Vaishnava. But if you actually feel happy for your enemy's progress in Krishna consciousness, then you're getting close to being a Paramhamsa Vaishnava. Okay, why we are discussing this? So you see how, why this, all of a sudden we are talking about envy, We were talking about lust and now we start talking about envy because they are both connected. Yes. When one becomes Krishna conscious by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, for him the entire world appears happy and he has nothing to hanker for. If you become Krishna conscious. That was said in the last purport, yes? What is the solution to the disease? Heart disease. What is the heart disease? Yesterday we were discussing lust. That is the heart disease. This heart disease cannot go away no matter what we do. There's only one thing that can remove, that can cure this heart disease. That is Krishna consciousness. So when you become Krishna conscious, then this lust will go away. That's what we read. So this purport is saying that, if you become Krishna conscious, right? If you become Krishna conscious, then you don't have anything to hanker for. One who is lusty, he is never satisfied. He is hankering for more and more and more. Lust and greed are related, hankering. But if you are Krishna conscious, no hankering. That means no lust, no hankering. What is this stage? No hankering. Na sochati, na kankshati. Kankshati is hankering. Na kankshati, no more hankering. That is Brahma Bhuta platform, liberated stage. From that stage, you go to Mad Bhaktim Labhate Param. Right? Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochati na kankshati samah sarveshu bhuteshu. He is equal to all living entities. He desires the well-being of all living entities. That's also a sign of an advanced devotee. He genuinely prays for the well-being of all living entities. He is equal to all living entities. And he does not hanker for anything. He does not lament for anything. This is the Brahma Bhuta stage. As long as one lives in this material world, actions and reactions will continue. But when one is unaffected by such material actions and reactions, he is to be considered free from the danger of being victimized by material desires. Okay. So another point is, one thing is, you will not be hankering. And the other thing is, actions and reactions come. So ups and downs will come in life. Right? Ups and downs will come. Sometimes wealth and sometimes poverty. Sometimes health and sometimes disease. Sometimes fame and sometimes infamy or rejection. Like this. But if you are Krishna conscious, these things will not disturb you. You will not become proud and arrogant and puffed up when everything is nice, nor will you become morose and disappointed when things are not nice. In both phases, you should continue with your devotional service in the same way. You're not affected by these actions and reactions. That is also a sign of a Krishna conscious person. If you're Krishna conscious, you will not be affected by the by success or failure. You will not be affected, or disease or healthy condition, or poverty or opulence. You will not be affected. This is a sign of Krishna consciousness also. So when you're Krishna conscious, there's no lust, there is no hankering, and you're not affected by the dualities. You're not affected by the dualities. You'll continue your duty, your Krishna conscious seva, without being affected by actions and reactions. Okay. So these are all the symptoms of one who is completely done with lusty desires. Like the lusty desires are not acting on him anymore. They are not disturbing him anymore. So you see the connection now? Yayati Maharaj is disgusted with his lusty desires. So he is telling the story to his wife. And then he said, you should not feed this lust. The more you feed, the bigger it gets. So best is, in bracket, it is said, the best is to voluntarily give up. family life. That means lust. And also the analogy is given, it's like fire. If you keep feeding butter, the fire will never be extinguished. So then the next verse is saying, but one who is not envious, he can be happy anywhere in this whole world. What is the connection between non-envy and lust? Yes, somebody who is done with lust, who is not lusty, he will not be envious also. That means he will desire he will be the best well-wishing friend of everyone. Who is the best well-wishing friend of everyone? Who is the best well-wisher of everyone? Krishna and devotee. Yes, Krishna and Krishna's devotee. They are the only well-wishers of everyone, regardless of who you are. Krishna and Krishna's devotee. So this is a sign of Krishna consciousness. Being a well-wisher of everyone. That is a sign of Krishna consciousness. Not being affected by lust, that means not hankering for anything. That's also a sign of Krishna consciousness. And what is the third point? Not being affected by the dualities. So these are all signs of a Krishna conscious person. So that is why non-envy, right? Someone who's not envious, he's the well-wisher of everyone, is said, right? When one is not envious, he does not expect honor, but he desires well-being for even his enemy. You should know he's a Paramhamsa, one who has fully subdued the lusty desires for sense gratification. So we will stop here today. We will continue tomorrow. So Priyanka Haripriya Mataji read. So we'll begin with Saujanya Mataji tomorrow. Saujanya Mataji and Prajna will read tomorrow. Now let's read Bhagavad Gita. I told you I will explain Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on that verse 124. So Arjuna is telling Krishna to go to the center of the battlefield and Krishna takes the chariot. So Sanjay is saying, Krishna drew the chariot between both the armies. Arjun said, and Krishna followed. But the significant thing here is Arjun is called Gudakesha, Krishna is called Hrishikesha. That's the main thing. What is the purpose of calling Arjun Gudakesha? Why the word Gudakesha is used for Arjun? And why Lokesh?
Because Krishna is the controller of the senses and Arjuna is the controller of sleep.
Yes, correct. And that is further explained. Controller of sleep, and sleep also means ignorance. And Arjun was able to control both sleep and ignorance. Why was he able to control sleep and ignorance? How was Arjun able to control sleep as well as ignorance? Yes, Sonia Mataji.
Mataji, because Arjuna is a devotee of Krishna and Krishna follows the order of Arjuna. So he controls the Krishna, whereas the sleep is the vritti of ignorance. Maya, it's a vritti of Maya. So one who controls the Krishna can easily control the
Maya. Yes, nice. Thank you, Mataji. So that's Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's explanation that ignorance is coming from where? Ignorance is the modes, right? Goodness, passion, ignorance. These are all from the material energy. So ignorance is the vritti of Maya. And who is Maya? Maya is the servant of Krishna. Maya Dhyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. So Maya is the servant working under the supervision of Krishna. If one is able to control Krishna, automatically he can control Krishna's servant. But how is one able to control Krishna? That's the next question. How is Arjuna able to control Krishna? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And here it is said Rishikesha. Rishikesha means he is the master of the senses. How is Arjuna able to control Krishna? Who can control Krishna?
He is best devotee.
Devotee means what? What is what is pure devotee? Now don't tell me Anyabhilashi Darshan.
The friendly relation, Mataji.
Very nice. Little bit more, Mataji. You go higher than that. Friendly relations. Not exactly friendly relation. Yes, Rasapriya.
Sorry, who's not envious of anybody?
Okay. Not exactly, my friend.
Who always, Krishna says, right, who always abides in me and always thinks of me within himself.
Very nice, but give me one word for that.
Ananya
Yes.
Bhakta. Ananya Bhakta.
Ananya Bhakta means what? So, Isha, Isha said, one who loves. Yes, Krishna is conquered by love. Prema. Of course, Ananya Bhakta. But what is it that the Ananya Bhakta has? He has love. So Krishna is conquered by love. Then you can order Krishna, right? Carry my shoes and Krishna will put on his head and he will go. Of course, Ananya Bhaktas, there are stages. Sadhana Bhakti is there, Bhava. But when one actually comes to the stage of love, then Krishna becomes a servant. So Arjuna was such a devotee. He had love for Krishna. Therefore, Krishna agrees to be the servant of Arjuna. That's the only time when one can conquer Krishna. One can conquer Krishna by his love. So therefore, Arjuna was able to control. He was able to tell Krishna, and Krishna immediately is taking like that. Okay. Let me see if there's any more points. So Hrishikesha Gudakesha. Hrishikesha means one who controls all the senses. Okay. I didn't go through this section. Maybe I'll stop here. I will explain tomorrow. I didn't get a chance to go over it. Okay. I'll do it tomorrow. Okay. I'll read Leelamrita now. Because already it's past time and then it'll take some more time. We read the purport already yesterday. I just was going to explain. Let's read the next verse, and I will also tomorrow I'll come back and read explain the 24th verse. Okay, I'll just read 25 today. Bhishmadrona pramukhatah sarvesham cha mahikshitaam uvacha partha pashyaitan samavetan kuruniti. In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all the other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, just behold, Partha, all the Kurus assembled here. So Krishna took the chariot in the middle of the battlefield. So from there, Arjuna was able to see everyone on the other side. Of course, he was able to see those on his side, but he knew who were on his side. But now he's also able to see those who are on the enemy's side. Who all were there? Bhishma, Drona, and all the other chieftains of the world. And after going there, Krishna is saying, just behold, Partha, all the Kurus assembled here. Just look at all the Kurus who are here. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. As the super soul of all living entities, Lord Krishna could understand what was going on in the mind of Arjun. The use of the word Rishikesha in this connection indicates that he knew everything because he's the master of the senses, he's the controller of the senses. He's completely aware, right, of what's going on in the senses. And the word Partha, meaning the son of Pritha or Kunti, is also similarly significant in reference to Arjun. As a friend, he wanted to inform Arjun that because Arjun was the son of Pritha, the sister of his own father Vasudev, who's Kunti Maharani? She's the sister of Vasudev, Krishna's father. That means Kunti Devi is Lord Krishna's aunt, right? Bua, right? Father's sister. And so Krishna's father's sister's son is Arjun. Krishna's Bua's son is Arjun. So Krishna wanted to inform Arjun that because Arjun was his Bua's son, therefore Krishna agreed to be the charioteer of Arjun. You are my relative, so I agreed to be your charioteer. Now, what did Krishna mean when he told Arjun to behold the Kurus, look at all the Kurus? What was Krishna's intention? Did Arjun want to stop there and not fight? Krishna never expected such things from the son of his aunt, Pritha. You are related to me. You are my auntie's son. You are Krishna's relative. Being someone who is related to me, you are thinking you won't fight in this battle? That will not be accepted. It's not at all acceptable. So when Krishna said, "Just behold all the Kurus," means Krishna was aware of what's going on in Arjun's mind. So by looking at all this, are you thinking of not fighting? No, give up such a thought. Because you are Partha, you are my auntie's son, you are related to me. Krishna never expected such things from the son of his aunt Pritha. The mind of Arjun was thus predicted by the Lord in friendly joking. So Krishna is predicting ahead of time. When he said, "Behold," means now Arjun will say, "Oh my God," right? All these people are here. So in a friendly way, Krishna is predicting what's coming. And at the same time, not he is not accepting, he's also not going to accept that type of behavior, because by saying Partha, you cannot you cannot not fight, because you're my relative. Being my relative, how can you go back on your duty? Okay, let's read Leelamrita little bit and then I'll end. Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita, continuation. So Srila Prabhupada moved to Bauri and sharing that room with, what's his name? David Allen. But before that, yesterday we read about the history of that Bauri or Lower East Side. It was a highway or a road on either side of which there were many farms or breweries. Right? That's how the name of that road became Bauri. Okay. And okay. In the early 1800s, the Bowery was predominated by German immigrants. Later in the century, it became predominantly Jewish, and gradually it became the city's center of theatrical life. However, as a history of Lower Manhattan describes, after 1870 came the period of the Bowery's celebrated degeneration. Fake auction rooms, saloons specializing in 5-cent whiskey and knockout drops, sensational dime museums, filthy and rat-ridden stale beer dives, together with Charles M. Hoyt's song, the Bowery, I'll never go there anymore, fixed it forever in the nation's consciousness as a place of unspeakable corruption. This is the Bowery. The reaction of Prabhupada's electrician friend was not unusual. The Bowery is still known all over the world as Skid Row, a place of ruined and homeless alcoholics. Perhaps the uptown electrician had done business in the Bowery and had seen the derelicts sitting around passing a bottle or lying unconscious in the gutter or staggering up to passers-by and drunkenly bumping into them to ask for money. Most of the Bowery's 7,000 or 8,000 homeless men slept in lodging houses that required them to vacate their rooms during the day. That means they would sleep in lodging houses just at night, and during the day they had to vacate. Having nowhere else to go and nothing else to do, they would loiter on the street, standing silently on the sidewalks, leaning against a wall, or shuffling slowly along, alone or in groups. In cold weather, they would wear 2 coats and several suits of clothes at once and would sometimes warm themselves around a fire they would keep going in a city garbage can. At night, those without lodging slept on the sidewalks, doorsteps, and street corners, crawled into discarded boxes, or sprawled side by side next to the bars. Thefts were commonplace. A man's pockets might be searched 10 or 20 times while he slept. The rates of hospitalization and death in the Bowery were 5 times higher than the national average, and many of the homeless men bore marks of recent injuries or violence. My God, and we don't even have an idea of what it is like there. And Srila Prabhupada actually went and lived in the Bowery and preached Krishna consciousness there and turned them into devotees. So we will stop here. Thank you all so much for staying extra 11 minutes. We'll meet tomorrow. All of you have a wonderful day in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.